Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a switchable object. So we're going to have a generator in this machine space here, and when I turn it on, it's going to control a connection between the sick bay and the decontamination chamber. So when the generator's on, the force field's up. When the generator's off, force field is down, and then I can go back and forth between these two rooms. So let's look at how we can make an object that we can switch on and off. So I'm going to pop over to Lantern here, and I'm going to go to my functions. And so what I want to do is, so when the player types, turn on generator, we're going to have a turn on generator function. So I'm going to call it generator on, click new, and I'm going to right click on my area, code area here. I'm going to say switch on an object. So now what I need to do is change object to be the thing I want to switch on. So if the generator is on, or is off, that's what that's checking for, generator. And we'll walk through what this does in a second. And I need to, let's change the description here to, I don't know, the generator, the lights on the generator are glowing perfectly. Okay, the light, are perfect. The lights on the generator are glowing. Perfect. And then let's change this to something a little different. The generator powers up with a hum. There we go. All right, and now we need to make a sentence. So when the player types in turn on generator, this function will get called. Verb, so if the verb is, let's go to, we're in our functions tab. If we turn on the generator, I'm sorry, we're in the sentences tab. If I turn on the generator, call the generator on function instead and click add. There we go. Now let's go back to that code. I just want to explain what it does. So the user3 is a bit that is there just for us as the game designer to decide what we want to do with it. And for this particular object, we're going to use it to store whether it's powered on or not. So if user3 is 0, that means we're going to say that 0 means it's not powered on, it's off. Then turn it on, print the message, and then change the description of the object to indicate that it's on. And now let's just go test that we can do that. If I launch the player here, if I go south, turn on generator. The generator powers up with a hum. Turn on generator. It's already on. Okay, cool. So there's the code for turning on the generator. Now let's make the code for turning off the generator. Generator off. And let's do the same thing. Let's insert the code for switching off an object. And what this is doing is it's saying if the object is on, now we need to turn it off. So let's call it. We have to do the same thing. Change the object name and let's just, the generator is currently off or something like that. The generator is off. The generator powers down with a whine, something like that, something to help build that mental picture in the player's mind. And that's a little, no, that's fine, okay. That was just, it's not a bug, that's just a nuisance. I shall fix that. Okay, so let's save our project here. And now let's test it out. Oh, we need to add, maybe you saw this, a sentence. So when we turn off the generator, when we type turn off generator, call the generator off function. There we go. Now let's run it and see if it works. South, turn on generator. Turn on generator. Generator powers up with a hum. Cool. Turn off generator. Generator powers down with a whine. Cool. Turn off generator. It's already off. Nice. Okay, so now we can turn on and off the generator. Now let's look at the generator. X generator. the generator is off, right? So the description of the object changes based on its state. It's not like it's a statue and it always looks like the statue. The description, you can change the description of objects based on, whatever they happen to be doing at the time. So now we've got our generator that we can switch on and off. Let's add an event to control the connection or manage the connection between the sickbay and the decontamination chamber. So now what I'm going to do is go to Events, and I'll call this, I don't know, what do I call it? Check force field or something. Oh, I don't have enough letters. I'll just call it force field. And click Add. And then what I'll do here is I'll say if the generator is on, then I can't go from the sick bay to the decontamination chamber. So I need an if statement. So if you type the word if and then hit tab twice, Lantern will stub out the code for you. And then we're also going to need an else block. So if I type else and hit tab, we'll get the closing parentheses. So what we're going to say is if the generator is on, connect those two rooms. Otherwise, break the connection between the two rooms. We could also have done this in the function for handling the switching on and switching off the generator. We could have done this inside. We could have added all of that logic inside the function too. So we say when the generator's on, print it powers on, and then make the room connection. But we could do it using an event too. So let's say if the generator dot user3 is equal to 1. That means it's powered on. And I'm going to put in a note here. The double slash means this is a note. Generator on. Now how do I say that I can't go east from sickbay? So what I do is I say sickbay dot e equals. Now there's a function here called fail. And I put a semicolon there at the end. And now I'm going to put in the message to fail with, right? So if I try to move fail and then print the message, whatever, the force field is up. Otherwise, the sick bay's east connection is the decontamination chamber. Decontamination, is it room, chamber? I don't know, I forgot what it was called. Semicolon. So let's go back to our objects and just see what they were named. So it's decontamination chamber. There we go. I'm just going to copy it right out of there. So I've got the spelling right. So that should be it. So every turn, the game is going to check if the generator is on, so its user3 property is set to 1, then I can't go that way. The east connection out of the sick bay will fail with force field is up, and otherwise I can go. The east connection out of the sick bay leads to the decontamination chamber. One thing though that just to add some polish here and kind of help things make sense. What state does the generator start in? Well, it starts off because user 3 is set to 0. So let's start the generator in the on position, and let's say initial description of the generator. Oh no, bad dog. The generator is on, and what else? Okay, and then customize the you can't go that way message. So we want that connection to start off being blocked. So here's how we do that. If I click on the customize you can't go that way, but I want to do this for the sick bay. Let me go to the sick bay, and let me, you can see here I'm going east to the decontamination chamber, but if I open this up, the customize you can't go that way, let's say the east connection is the force field is up. I don't know, is force field one word or two? Let's leave it as one. Okay, save. All right, so now let's run it and see what happens. Launch player. Sorry, I'm running in a debugger. There we go. If I try to go east, the force field is up, south. Okay, X, let's look at the generator. It says the generator is on. Turn off the generator. Generator powers down with a Y, and I should be able to go north. And now if I go east, you can see I'm in the decontamination chamber. So there we go. So that was how you can, there was the switchable object for sure, but then there was the event code for controlling the connections in the game based on a property on an object. So another takeaway here is that if you want to block a connection out of a room, you can do that. You just have to use the fail function. You say fail, and then in quotation marks the message that you want the movement to fail with, the error message that you see on the command line. Otherwise, you just set that object's property to the name that you want to connect to. So there you go. There's how to use switchable objects, and also how to use a switchable object to control connections in your game.